All right, deer feeder project time. Got these 3 55-gallon steel drums. Just got done power washing them. Cleaned all the insides of it out. Gonna make 2 deer feeders out of this. I'm gonna cut the blue drum in half, weld it on each half onto each black drum, and make 2 extra large deer feeders. That way I don't have to go out and add corn all the time. So let the fun begin. We'll see how this turns out. Time to cut some drums. All right, use my angle grinder and cut the first drum in half. It's cut in half. Now, for this drum, I want that end to stay open. That's the end that I'm going to be able to take the top off and put the corn feed, the deer feed in. So I don't want to touch that end. But on this side, I'm going to cut that end off, and that's the side that I will weld one of those pieces to. So I'll cut this end off and we'll see how it looks. All right, little update on the deer feeder progress. You can see I've cut part of the second barrel, the blue one, cut it down, got it welded on to the black one there to make it just a little bit bigger, just holds a little bit more corn. This right here is the gonna be the top of the feeder. I wanted to make this feeder easily to move, so I'm building it in different pieces. So while I'm out in the field, I can assemble it. If I want to move it to another spot, take it down and put it up somewhere else. So I'm making these all in parts. It also makes it a lot easier to get it from my house out to the field. Got half-inch plate on top. Welded those legs on about 16 degrees on the angle. These are the legs right here. 2-inch legs with 1 3/4 square. Welded this together so that it's hollow on this end. And I can put the other long legs, the 3 long legs, into that hole, and it should be about 14 to 15 feet high. Up here, I cut down the middle of the pipe, or I'm sorry, the square tube. Cut down the middle on a couple of different sides, used clamps and squeezed it together, welded it back, and then grinded it down. So it basically turns it into a tapered finish. This actual pipe, steel, because of the gauge, does not actually fit inside that quite as well as I wanted, so I had to taper it down a little bit. So, all right, on to the next step. I used 1-inch angle iron and welded a support cage around the drums. Here you can see the top half of the tripod put together. I just have to insert the bottom legs. After completing the fabrication in the garage, I took the feeder into the backyard and did a mock assembly. You can see I used a double pulley system with a winch. Since this will be a heavy feeder, it'll be easier to raise using 2 pulleys. All right, finished product of the Texas deer feeder. Finally got it all put together and assembled. You can see that right here is where I ended up adding this bottom section. That was the half of the drum that I cut and welded on there. Got a winch put on right here. Cable goes up to the top, and it's on a double pulley. Since this is kind of an oversized drum, it's gonna be heavy, so I used a double pulley. So you can see there's 1 pulley up there on the left, comes down, goes through that pulley, goes back up to the top, and it's anchored up there at the top on the right. You just can't see it very well with this light. Pieces at the top, or the legs slide in, comes down to the sides over here. You can see where the bottom legs go in, and I ended up using bolts to put through it, mainly because whenever I laid it down inside and went to stand it up, some of the pieces were trying to slide out, and so if you're putting this up by yourself, which is what I did, it's just easier if everything's bolted in. Got a little paint job on it. That was kind of fun, just to play around with green, brown, and black. Come down, got some feet on there that I'm gonna drill holes through, and I'll be able to use probably some 18-inch rebar. I'll drive it down through the hole into the ground, and that'll help keep this thing stable. I have it kind of sitting down low right now because I finished painting the bottom. Right down here, this is the front, the gate that's removable. It goes in this section right here, and there's screws or holes right here that put this up, and drill a couple machine screws through there, and it holds it into place. Texas Hunter product. Can't give them a plug because I decided to paint over everything. I was just having too much fun, and I decided to use all the paint that the 3 cans of paint that I bought. So solar panel, keep the battery charged. And this sucker will go all the way up to the top, and it kind of wedges into the top up there, and that'll keep it from swinging around in the wind. It ends up, there were 16-foot legs in total length. Because of the angle, it ends up being somewhere around 15 feet tall. Once you do get it all the way up there, the bottom of the cage ends up being, I think it was somewhere around 7 feet off the ground. So we don't have to worry about any cattle rubbing up against it, knocking into it, banging into it. Should be somewhat difficult for any raccoons, anything to try to climb up and get in there. Even if they do climb up on top, they're not going to get through that critter guard. So really, I just wanted to make it tall to keep it up high so all the cattle don't come in and bang into it, knock it around, and try to mess with it. So that's the final product. Texas deer feeder, ready to get it out in the field, put it to work. All right, everyone, I hope this video gives you some good inspiration and ideas to build your own deer feeder, whether you buy one or if you're like me, you like to get out there and just build your own. Either way, I hope you enjoy it. Good luck, and thanks for watching.